So let's start our integration with ServiceNow. First, we need to request a ServiceNow developer instance. So I'm going to go ahead and put the URL into a browser, then sign into ServiceNow. Then click on Request Instance. I'm going to select Australia, hit Request. Then you'll get an email when the instance is available, and then we can add the plugin for SAM and demo data. Then go to Manage My Instance, and we'll need to install the Software Asset Management Professional plugin. So hover over the plugin and then click on Activate with Demo Data. Now you can see it's activating the plugin. It'll take a little bit of time and an email notifying you that it is complete. So the plugin is activated with demo data. Now we can go to Start Building. So the first thing we need to do is install the Integration Hub ETL, which will help with the integration to IT visibility. So I'm just going to search for, I'm going to search for Application Manager. And then I'm going to search for the Integration Hub ETL. So I'll click on it and then click Install. It says Install Now, which I'll go ahead and do. This will take a while, so we'll just wait for it to finish. Took a little while to install, but it's finally done. Now hit the X. While I'm still in the Integration Hub ETL page, I want to load the demo data. So I'll click on Load Demo Data, hit OK. And now that's done. Hit Close. Now we want to move on to retrieve the update sets. Midway through the page says update set from XML. To find the file on the image is a folder called class files, and under it is IT visibility and ServiceNow folders. And we're going to pull the XML 1.3404 in this instance. So I'm going to just grab this link here and get it ready for choose file 1.3404 and upload. Now I have my update set available. I'll click on it so that I can preview the update set. Now I'm going to click on preview update set. Now this is going to take a while as well, and it will fail. And now those are the corrections that we're going to have to make when this is done. So you see I have 60 errors. So I have to correct these errors before we can continue. So down here are the update set problems. And then for each page of problems, I'm going to need to accept the remote update. So I would click on all the rows, and over here under actions, select update remote, accept remote update, and do that page by page. Once that is done, we'll click on commit update set and let that process. Okay, that's succeeded. I'll click close and then update. Now you can see the state is committed, and this part is now done. So now I'm going to do the import and export properties. So I'm going to go to the import properties page. You can see there's a Flexera One application now in the results. So click on import properties. Now I have to change to the application focus instead of global. So I'm going to click on the here to update that record, and now I'm updating the Flexera One application. Say yes to just about everything here. So I'll go ahead and hit save. And now we'll update the integration properties. Again, change the focus to the Flexera. And we want to enable logging, which it seems to be turned on already. We can also turn on the hardware. So we have the IRE prevents class updates, hardware specification content packs. We can skip business service mapping. We're not doing that in this class. Enable logging and hit save. Now we'll create the integration user. So we'll search and select users and groups, users. We'll click new and create a user called Flexera Integration. First name is Flexera, last name's Integration. The identity type will be machine. And then on the header on the top, I'll right click and hit save. Then we'll select or click on set password. We'll generate the password. We'll copy that and we'll record that in OneNote. So I'll put it here. This is the Flexera integration user. User password. Save password. Close. We want to make sure that the password needs reset is not on. And now we're going to work with some roles. So we go scroll down to the tabs, click on roles, click edit. We're going to search for X, which then we can find the X FLS Flexera One admin and slide it over to the right. And then whoops, get it over there. There we go. Then we want SAM user and OAuth user. And then click save. See, this adds several integration roles. When you scroll down, you'll see 14 roles have been added. Specifically, the one I'm looking for is a CMDB read, and that seems to be on. So we'll click update and then move on to the next module. Next, we'll do our import connection to IT visibility. Import configuration connection setup. That's what we want. Click on new. We'll call this connection IT visibility. Endpoints auto-populated. OAuth token URLs populated. This refresh token is taken from Flexera One, which was module 3. So I'm going to grab that, the refresh token from Flexera One, paste it in there. Then we need to get the org ID for the organization ID and the resource path that's looking for the org ID. So I'm using NA02. You see it's 30288. I'll just grab that and put that here under org ID and put it here under org ID. Then in a form header, right click and hit save. The last thing to do with this connection is to click on Verify Refresh Token to make sure everything is working. Next, we have to update the application registries to allow for the API access for external clients and set up for the connection to a third-party OAuth provider outbound. The next step to get ready for changing the application registries is changing the application scope. It is currently on global. If I click on this globe symbol, it says application scope is global. I click on that and search for Flexera. And now my scope is changed to Flexera One. We'll go to the application registry. Click on New. And we're going to select the deprecated UI, create an OAuth API endpoint for external clients. Once ServiceNow gets rid of the deprecated UI listing here, we'll have to find another way of making this connection possible. Now we'll start filling in these fields. So we'll call it Flexera One OAuth, a refresh token lifespan 13 million plus, access token lifespan of 86,000 plus. The scope restrictions will be broadly scoped. See what else do I need? I'll go ahead and save this in the header. So I look at the rest of this. Right, we're going to need to copy the client ID and the client secret for the connection in IT visibility. So the client ID, and the client secret. And we'll click update. And then we'll click new again. This time we'll do the connected third party OAuth provider outbound. Give this a name that's in the lab. The client ID and client secret we just copied from the other connection, so we'll paste that in. So client ID is here, and the client secret is here. Next, we'll update the token URL, which looks just like the redirect URL with a slightly different change to the URL. So I'm going to copy that, put it in the token URL, and then just change the end of it to authtoken.do. This is auth redirect.do. Got the device number matching the device number up here. And let's see, others we leave as the default. So we'll click save and then update. If you don't see these two, you can go to filters and then select none. And then you have all the connectors, and here's the ones we just created. Next, we're going to generate the token. So we'll go to all, Flexera One, export configurations, generate token. The username is the user we created, so Flexera integration. And the password is the password for the Flexera integration user. So let me get back to Notepad++ integration user password. And then click generate OAuth token. Now I need to copy this into Notepad. Now we'll configure IT visibility with ServiceNow. So I'm going to bring over the instance of Flexera One I'm working on. I'm on NA02 as student 02. I'm going to go to IT visibility connectors. There's one connector here. I'm going to need my dev server name, and then it's going to know who I am. But I'm also going to need the ServiceNow token, client ID, and client secret that we have. So first I need my ServiceNow ID. So you can see here it's 932. Let me just grab this. .61. Next module is setting up the schedule export itself in ServiceNow. So I'm going to return to ServiceNow, go to Export Properties under Flexera One Export Configuration. Now we're looking for the queries that'll help us filter the data that we want to bring over to Flexera One. And in the lab manual are the specific strings that we want to put into each of these fields. So for computer query, I'm pasting in this filter. For Netgear query, this filter, and then for the software install query. So these are right from the lab manual, and I just pasted them in, and I'll hit save. Now we'll need some connection schedules. So because this is a lab that has a small amount of data, we'll go ahead and increase this frequency to be at least once a day, so that actually we'll set this up periodically and run every 6 hours, just so we got data flowing all the time. As soon as the data is normalized in ITV, we'll get it up in ServiceNow. As soon as ServiceNow makes some changes, we'll get that back to IT visibility. It will just keep going back and forth. So hopefully in a course of a day, in a course of 24 hours, we're going to have the data updated on both sides, IT visibility and in ServiceNow. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the export schedule. I'm going to go to schedule export, Flexera One export configurations, schedule export. I'm going to click on active. And then under run, I'm going to change it from on demand to periodically. Time zone is whatever your local time zone is. I'm going to choose US Central. And then in the form header, I'm going to hit save. Interesting. When the active is turned off, I turn on active, and now I get my repeat interval, which is what I was looking for. So I'm going to run this every 6 hours. And now we'll save this. Okay, that makes it more sense now. And now we'll do the same thing for a scheduled import. You know what? I could also do a execute now, so the data is starting to flow. Get that over to IT visibility. And then we'll also do an import just so that we can get that data into ServiceNow. The devices that are in IT visibility that are currently not in ServiceNow, we'll just get them over, and then we'll start doing the enrichment as well. So we'll set up the import schedule. Now we'll go to all job scheduling and then snapshot run. No, snapshot will be all data being sent back and imported. And typically we would do one snapshot run and run that on demand, execute now, if you will. And then the subsequent runs would just be deltas, because that'll save a lot of time. But we got such little amount of data that we're just going to run the snapshot run on a periodic basis. So we'll make that active and run that periodically. Here's my days and hours. We'll run this every 6 hours, save that. They're going to change time zone, US Central. All right, save that. Then go ahead and execute that as well. So I'm not getting the data that I just exported to be re-imported, but since this is running every 6 hours, again, 24 hours from now, we should have everything updated with the enrichment data in ServiceNow and all the demo data in ServiceNow over in IT visibility.